breaking news. Andy Dubrovsky, you're retired.
I don't know how you're feeling about it, Andy, but we're all feeling pretty good about it. And that's not because we're happy you're gone. It's because you're farting through silk now, raising chickens. So we appreciate you, and I know you'd rather look at Elizabeth than me, so I wanted you to be here and just wish him well, right?
Well, yeah, of course. We wish you well and good luck with the chickens.
Well, just who is this handsome red-bearded TV photographer? Oh yes, I know that hat anywhere. It's got to be Andy Dubrovsky. You could say his life's work was an opera, but was it a Greek comedy or a Russian tragedy? Check out that sweet disco shirt. The year was 1978, and as he did time and time again, Andy lent his Russian translation skills to a news story.
This morning, Newsroom 7 put in a call to the Soviet Minister of Health, Boris Petrovsky. At first, the woman who answered the telephone in Moscow told us that Petrovsky did not speak English. Then, when Newsroom 7 cameraman Andy Dubrovsky spoke to her in fluent Russian, the woman said Petrovsky was not available.
I just have to say, doing what's cooking is not going to be the same. Who am I going to share my meals with? But I have to say, my favorite thing about working with Andy is no matter where we went, everything was a history lesson. You always had a story, and then I could pass those stories along, and it was so cool. So I'm really going to miss that part of working with you.
My two favorite stories about you were the day that I taught you how to treat a diva, and you dropped me off in front of the hotel rather than make me walk across the parking lot in the rain. And also our trip to Havana, Cuba. I'll never forget the two of us pushing that car down the main street to get it started. And then when it got started, the camera was in the back and we watched it disappear. And 3 hours later, when I found it, because I saw some guys pushing the car into a parking spot, I grabbed the camera, I held it up as you walked home back to the hotel, and we went straight to the bar and had mojitos.
During his 42 years working at Channel 7, Andy really got around. In the 1980s, he shot footage of then-Governor Michael Dukakis on a trip to China in 1985. In 87, he was dispatched to his family's homeland, Russia, at the time the old Soviet Union was collapsing. On the ground there, Andy's Russian language skills scored the most touching sentiments.
You and I have chased so many stories together, but one chase I know you'll remember, the time you and I literally chased Bishop Desmond Tutu all the way from Logan Airport to Cambridge, in and out of all those streets, right on their tail, and we would have caught him if that Harvard cop hadn't cut us off.
I can remember it like it was yesterday. Chuck sent us down to the garden, the Russians were in town, and the only one that knew anything about them was you. Simply because you're the only guy that speaks Russian in town. So I just stood there and listened. I had no idea what he was saying. And after talking to 15 of them, I asked you, what's it all about? What's going on? And you said, they were told they couldn't speak to anybody, but I got it out of them. What was that, says I. And you come up, oh, they wanted to know where Filene's basement was, because they needed some dungarees for the home folks. Let me tell you one thing, you had an exclusive that day.
I have one favorite story. That's when Gorbachev first came to Boston. So at every stop along the way, as he went in or came out, I'd holler out at him, Mikhail Sergeyevich, pожалуйста, please. Grabs the microphone and he says in Russian, you've been hollering at me all day. What do you want? I said, 2 minutes. We had our 2-minute one-on-one interview. I called the desk. Everybody was happy.
Arrived in Rome. Foreign affairs were Andy's game. In 1993, he and RD followed former Mayor Ray Flynn to Rome as a newly installed U.S. ambassador to the Vatican.
How are you? How are you? Good to see you got my man here, all right. Huh?
And in 98, Andy was on the ground in communist Cuba with Vicki Block, reporting on Pope John Paul II's visit.
Those people you see behind me, ethnic Albanians.
The next year, he traveled with Caterina Bandini to Macedonia on the fallout of the war in Kosovo.
It's clear from the faces that many here are still traumatized by the horrors they witnessed in Kosovo.
As always, Andy captured the perfect moments. Throughout his travels, his wife Kathy and their 4 children were always patient and waiting for Poppy back home.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for a long, long year. Stole many a man's soul faith. I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt and pain.
People like you and Jack Crowley and Fast Al McNaughton and all the others were always whispering into my ear and telling me what to say. And that's the thing that got me the credit, and that's the thing that made me look so good. I'm hoping that now that you're in retirement, that you're going to be able to spend time with your family, with your wife and your kids who have all grown up. I remember when they were kids. It's a great new life you're going into, and I hope you enjoy the rest of it.
Oh, is this for Andy?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. He's a has-been. Goodbye.
Killed the Tsar and his ministers and his stage. Screamed obey. I rode a tank and the generals rank. When the blitzkrieg raged and the bodies stank. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name.
My favorite memories are of our times together in Russia, working with the broadcast journalists there, trying to teach them how to enterprise news and question authority by day, and then trying to survive death by vodka with them at night.
Your gear was in better shape than Newt's was, but, you know, that's kind of a low bar.
What'll miss the most? Well, you swearing at me in Russian on a deadline when, of course, I'm messing up. You peeing in public because you always gotta go. And having a good meal with friends. I'll miss you.
You were a better driver than Rick Massey, again, not saying much.
I remember going to Cuba with you, and the old Russian soul that you were figured you might stay there with all your comrades, but you did come back and gave us many more years. We're gonna miss you.
You ate quieter than Richie Susskind when you were in the car.
I remember one time where you and I went out and you had to interview a guy in Russian. I don't know what you said to him, so you might have done a bad job, but the sound was just as understandable for me. I hope the subtitles did it justice.
You moved a little faster than Charlie Sullivan.
I feel really lucky that we had an opportunity to work together. We did some really special projects together. One of them was in Nantasket Beach when we had an opportunity after we shot the entire story to go out and get some food and sit on the beach and talk together. You shared some great stories about your family and a little bit about what you're going to do in your retirement. I hope it all goes well.
And you took up less room than Don Nelson.
I was all backed up because everyone's cutting this package tonight. We're not doing anything for news. We're cutting the Andy Dubrovsky's package. I got to do stuff. I can't stop for this.
I hope you have a ton of fun during your retirement. Really, this is just freedom to do whatever you want. And since you are local, I hope you will come back and visit us.
Oh, I'm not falling for this again. The last time I had to do this, it was for Al McNaughton, and he's still here. No, I've had it. I'm sorry. This isn't right. It's bullshit.
What I don't think a lot of people know is that you were once an amazing entrepreneur. You and I created a video called the Boston Postcard that we tried to sell at tourist outlets in Boston. It was Emmy worthy, without question. But of course, we didn't do our homework. We didn't recognize that the Boston Visitor and Convention Bureau had already done that kind of video. So, of course, we lost our shirt.
I want to congratulate Andy on your retirement after 40 years of great service to Channel 7 as well as to the city of Boston and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Cash bar? Are you kidding me? Andy, do you really expect me to pay drinks? I'm a Samoan who's known as Kaching. I don't pay for my drinks any place I go.
Have a good retirement, and I hope you get out there and have some fun.
Well, Andy, we'll miss you.
Later, you Russian bastard.
Good luck in retirement, my friend. Happy trails.
Goodbye, and
I hope I have a long career like you did.
Hey, Andy, have a great retirement. You've earned it, and I'll probably be seeing you around anyway. Take care.
Andy, congratulations on your retirement. See you soon.
We love you, Andy. Thanks.
Some of the backstories can be told. Others, if told, would jeopardize your pension.
Nastrovia, my brother.
P.S. Michael says he's very envious of you right now because you don't have to shoot this. He's my shooter. And he's not very happy about it because I'm telling him exactly what to do, where to stand. Blah, blah, blah. You know the drill.